Okay guys, March 26th, Sunday, it's the next day. Feeling kind of sore, but we'll make it. We've got a lot to do today. The first thing I'm gonna do is we're mixing some soil for the sweet potato containers and the grow tables. Now we're not gonna plant the sweet potatoes or the lettuce on the grow tables. We're gonna wait another week or two because temperatures are still, you know, mid to upper 50s at night. Sweet potatoes like it really warm. And anything we grow in here like lettuce, it's gonna be kind of tender. But we're gonna get the soil ready. We're gonna get the soil in the pots, wet them in, and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay guys, these are the 230-gallon containers for the sweet potatoes. I got a bunch of bone meal in there. We mix the soil, and I put it on an angle, guys, because when I plant the slips, I put the root part here, and I let it kind of grow this way, so it'll grow up the trellis. I am probably gonna increase the height of this trellis. I've got some lumber back here. I want to go up maybe 4 feet, but I'll do that when I have time in between. But we've got these beds ready, and as you can see, our fingerling potatoes are doing really well.
Hey everybody. We're back and getting back to the potted plants. Replanted some lemongrass. Even though we did kind of the cut down and the mulch over and so on like that, it just didn't make it through the really harsh ice and winter that we had. But I have been kind of reflecting. It seems like our lemongrass can last 2 to 3 years, and then it dies off and comes back. So I don't know if maybe that's just part of its life cycle, or again, depending on the weather and so on like that. So we've got some potato vines, different color in here. It'll cascade really nicely over this pot in particular.
What is all that down below?
Those are poppies.
Oh my
that are
gosh,
still to come. We've got
poppies.
a few that have already bloomed. And then over here, we decided to do some cascading rosemary. So again, hopefully it'll cascade pretty nicely. Their lemongrass had been in here too. And again, just didn't make it, even though that we had cut it down and kind of mulched it. And then we've got one big area back there by the pool that we bought a really nicely sized lemongrass that we're going to take and transplant back there. The big one didn't make it either.
No, I know.
And lemongrass is absolutely terrific. It's really good for warding off bugs and so on like that. And it had grown really fast and really nicely back there. Many years ago, Michael and I went to St. Lucia, an island in the Caribbean, and the hills grow with just lemongrass all over it. And the breeze blows through and you can smell this lemon and whatever. So not only is it nice, but then it also repels bugs. So next task.
The poppies are popping. There you go. Put some of that good soil. All right. Good root system. I'll pour the rest of that soil in there. Yeah. It's also good in iced tea as well too. We need to get some more mulch, don't we? Okay, lemongrass is planted in a couple areas. Exciting. Okay guys, I want to talk about what we're doing new this year. Let me raise that up so you can see. So last year we planted our lettuce greens, and these, I think they're a gallon. Yeah, it's about a gallon size, food grade. Well, this year we're gonna do them in this. I think it's a half gallon. You know guys, when I pulled these out last year, the roots didn't really even go down that far, and I just kind of think it's a waste of soil. But we're gonna go ahead and plant our lettuce greens in these, and I think that's gonna do just fine. We might plant some bok choy or some other greens in there as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill these up. Pack it down really good, right? Maybe leave a little space, and then I'll water them in. And next week, when we go to grow our lettuce greens, we've got all different kinds that we're gonna be growing, spinach, all different kind of salad blends. The soil will be ready to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this and finish up, and then I'll water these in. Guys, once we get this watered in, it'll be ready to go. Now when I go to plant seeds on here, I'll go ahead and I'll broadcast the seeds, the lettuce seeds or spinach. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top it with about 1/4 of an inch of vermiculite. And that will keep it nice and moist and help those seedlings grow. And of course, when it gets hot, we have 40% or 50% shade cover that we can put over this whole grow table. So I'm gonna get this done, and then after that, we're gonna start planting seeds, cucumbers and beans. All right, guys, Rochelle and I did a little quick trip to the store, but we're back now, and now it's seed planting time. Got a little cloud cover, which is nice to cool things down. It's supposed to be 84 today, but with the clouds, I think we'll stay in the upper 70s. So along this fence line right here, and then the big arch fence, we're gonna be doing a combination. I'm gonna try this. This is new this year. We've always grown the Asian long beans, or also called asparagus. This is a Chinese red noodle bean. I think that's really interesting. We're doing our Kentucky Wonders. We're gonna be doing 2 types of cucumbers. We're going to be doing the Armenian cucumbers, which are the ones that grow really long. They're really, they do really well in hot weather. And then we're going to do our pickling Max Pack cucumbers from Haas. We're going to make a lot of pickles this year. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I might do some acorn squash on one section of the fence, and as it grows, I'll use the little tomato clips to hold it up. I just want to experiment growing squash vertically. So let's go in there and plant some seeds. After that, we're going to be doing radish and a small patch of carrots. Okay guys, we got that fence done. I'm going to go ahead with these Chinese red noodle beans. I'm going to plant them along this fence right here, and they'll hopefully trellis and cascade, so you can actually just come over here and pick. These suckers get about, man, I've seen them. You don't want to let them get too big. You want to harvest them when they're pencil size, about 12 inches. You can chop them up, you can can them, you can saute them, stir fry them. But I'm going to go ahead and plant these about 4 inches apart. Don't want to overcrowd them. And these are going to be fun. We've done the green ones, and they've done really good for us. And we've actually let them go to seed as well too. I might plant them in a small section, the green ones. I just wanted to try these red ones. These look kind of cool. Okay, now we're going to move on to radishes and carrots. Hey guys, along this little part of the fence right here, I'm going to plant something that I tried last year. I discovered this on Hollis and Nancy's homestead. Amazing. It's called a cha mei melon. Now, of course, you can't read the writing, but cha mei, what I'll do is I'll spell it out for you in the comments, so you can search for a seed company. You know, everything's in Korean. But these did pretty good considering the drought. We had a couple of nice sized ones and one kind of small one. But they are so sweet. Literally, you can make a sorbet out of it. You just scrape out the melon, put it on a tray, freeze it, and then scoop it up like ice cream. It's so good. So cha mei. Now, the snow peas that are down here along the fence right now, they're gonna die off here probably in the next 30 days. It's getting hot. We'll harvest what we can on the snow peas. Here, I'll bring you closer so you can see what we got. So we are already getting snow peas, and me and Miss Rochelle tonight are gonna have a salad, and we're gonna come out here and harvest them. They're really delicious just eaten raw. Look at all these little snow peas, and we've got more on that fence that we're gonna harvest as well too. But let's get these cha mei melons planted. And from what I remember, these seeds are like bright pink. If you can see that. I'm gonna plant these about 4 to 6 inches apart, about 1 inch into the soil. Pack it down. And I'm going to also plant them by the snow peas, because by the time the snow peas are dying, well, these are going to come up over around them, and then they'll take over. I'll basically just plant a few in front of the snow peas. Hey guys, vertical gardening, I can't stress enough how much food you can grow when you vertically garden. You just got to learn what can you vertically garden. Whole beans, obviously, Kentucky Wonder, the Asian long beans. You can grow vertically cucumbers, all different kinds of cucumbers. You can, in some cases, grow some squashes as well too. Now guys, I'm going to try something a little bit different this year. I'm going to try growing squash vertically. I've seen a lot of other people do it before. I think the secret is to have these little tomato clips, and I'll bring you in close to show you how it works. As the squash grows, you just basically put that around, you clip it right where the squash vine is, and that'll support it. So I'm going to give that a try this year. So I'm going to do acorn, butternut, and I'm going to try something new. It's called green griller squash. I saw this on Eddie's channel, Pool Boys Homestead, Pawpaw's Place. Eddie, I'm gonna grow these, man. I'm not gonna do the tomato challenge because I've seen your tomatoes. Miss Lippy, good luck with you. you better fertilize. But I'm gonna do that method. I'm gonna try these squash. Okay guys, we're gonna load the hugelkultur garden with squash and melons. Those of you that don't know what hugelkultur is, it came from Germany. The Germans that settled here in America, typically in hot climates. What we've done is just simply before all this was here, we dug a hole. We dug it about 2 feet. We started with some logs, some branches, just compost, leaves, and then we covered it up with soil. Now, we tried to grow on it last year, but we had a hard time. It takes about 2 years for this to really settle in. The premise of this, and the theory is that basically as you water or the rain comes, the logs and the debris act like a sponge, keeping the soil moist in hot climates. But I'm going to put summer squash, zucchini. I'm going to plant this year. It's kind of new. God, if I can spell it. Giti okosuman. It's a really cool old American squash. So we're going to give that a try, and let's see what happens. If all the vines cascade all around out here, that's just fine. Got a nice spot over here where the greens were. There's one plant that's still alive, but I'm going to try this year, guys. It's a Chinese pink celery. I think that would be really cool. Our celery over here is just doing amazing, as you can see. We'll be harvesting some of that today as well too, but I'm going to plant this pink celery right over here. Guys, the seeds are just so tiny. They're like little pepper flakes. So I'm going to do them in a batch of 3. Maybe I'll go 4, and then we can have a nice row and fill that in right there. Just lightly cover it up. About 1 inch of soil. We're going to water all this. Everything that we plant, we're going to water here in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm going to start planting some radishes in between some of the tomatoes that we've done. We've got a couple different kinds. We've got your regular little Easter egg ones. We've got a French breakfast, which they grow kind of long. I don't want the seeds to fall out. Now, this one is really cool. These are huge. They're Asian. They're a Szechuan Red Beauty. And these suckers can get as big as a carrot. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. I've got a couple of jigs, and you guys seen me with these before. I've been using these now for a few years. These work wonderfully. This is a jig for onions. Now, I use this one for the Szechuan Reds because they really get big. They need room, 4 inches apart. But for the little tiny radishes, I'll use this. And these are about 2 inches apart. Got a nice little handle, and I'll show you how we use those when we go to plant. Okay guys, our soil is nice and moist and level. So I'm gonna take the jig 2 by 2 inches and I'm gonna press it into the ground. Okay, and then I'm gonna stand on it to make those holes in the ground. Guys, I don't wanna just pour a bunch of seeds and have to get on my hands and knees 2 or 3 times during the growth season and have to thin them. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna plant 1 seed at a time. I know it's a little intense, a little bit of hard work in the beginning, but it's worth it for me and it works out every time. So then you have your little holes and I can go ahead and just continue right here all the way to the end. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys, but it's going to give you a little jig, a little hole to spread your seeds out. And there we go. We've got our pattern. And I can push the holes in a little bit more with my finger. Okay guys, we'll get you down in here really close so you can see. Kind of tedious, but it's worth it.